how almost every American could be a millionaire if they made this one choice. Most people see being a millionaire as something that they can never accomplish, but to be very honest, the average American, if they would make one change, would be a millionaire. What's that change? Well, we're gonna talk about it right now. As of 2022, the average car payment was $667, okay? So if you took that same $667 and you invested that over time, guess what? That turns into an awful lot of money. Let me show you how that works. So basically what we're saying is, hey, rather than spending like the average American $667 on your car, if you took that same $667 and you invested in it and got an 8% return on your money, 40 years from now, you would have $2.3 million. Okay, if you made a 7% return over 40 years, you would have $1.76 million. Okay, but then you're saying, okay, I have to, what am I gonna do with my car? Okay, what if I need a car payment? What if I can't afford to buy a new car? Well, first off, I would buy a reliable, inexpensive car, like some type of a Honda Civic or something that's gonna be there. That was one of my first cars. So that's the first thing that I would say. But let's just say this. Let's even change this and say, hey, Ryan, you know what? I still need to have a car payment. So I'm saying, hey, what if you bought a car for $10,000? The average payment on a car for $10,000 is $150 a month, okay? Let me just show you here a couple of different cars as of this recording that you could buy for $150 per month. Here's a Chevy Spark, $55,000 you could buy for $8,000, okay? Here's a Ford Fiesta, 72,000 miles, you could buy for $8,000. Don't buy Mini Coopers, in my opinion. Sorry, Matt. I've got a buddy that has one. Don't buy this. Yeah, I'm not interested. I don't like Mazdas. The Ford Focus, 9,000 bucks, 75,000 miles. That's going to be a reliable car from my perspective. The Nissan, potentially. Don't buy these Jeeps and that stuff. I mean, it just depends. You want $1 million or do you want a nice car? That's a question you got to answer for yourself. Okay, old Buick. My wife had one of these when she was a kid. Well, I shouldn't say a kid, but okay, let's keep Mazda Miata. No. Let's load some more vehicles. What I'm trying to do here is just show you, like, here's a Ford Fiesta. Here's a Honda Accord, 50,000 miles for a Honda Accord, $9,000. I mean, that is a low mile. It's an older car. And I'm not trying to say, you know, buy this car or buy that car. What I'm trying to show you is for under $10,000, you can buy a very nice, reliable car. Just don't buy a BMW because they break all the time. And they're expensive to fix. Those are all things you should be thinking about here. Ford Focus, 70,000 miles on a Ford Focus. I mean, guys, Honda Accord, fantastic car. 2008, 9,000 bucks. Like, come on, these are all types of cars that you should be thinking about. But let's just break this down. Let's just say, okay, Ryan, you know what? I need a car and I can't pay cash for it, because if you could pay cash for the $10,000 or $8,000, you're so much better ahead, because that same $667, you could invest all of that, and with compound interest, you would have over $1 million. But let's say you can't do that. Let's say, hey, I need a $10,000 car. My payment on that's going to be $150 a month. Okay, I've got it. Let's relook at our math here. I'm going to say, great, the average car payment for most Americans is $667, okay? Now, you are saying, I need to pay $150 a month for my $10,000 car, which means you would have $517. Now, when I say average American, people are paying a lot more and people are paying less, but the average payment for a car payment right now in the United States is $667. I was gonna say thousand, but that's not right. So $667 per month. So if you take that 150, it leaves you with $517 per month that the average American can invest. Okay, well, let's take a quick look at this. Guess what? $517,000 at an 8% interest rate over 40 years is going to equal $1.8 million. Okay, let's do that at a 7% return. Over 40 years is going to equal $1.3 million. Okay, so basically what you're deciding here is what car you drive. It could make you a millionaire or it could make you not have a millionaire. So one of the things to think about is if you're not saving this, you're paying somebody else and they're doing it, like the bank. So the bottom line is the car you drive makes a huge determination if you are a millionaire or not. Let's just say you didn't have to pay that $150 per month. Let me show you what some financing would look like. All right, so I'm just putting my zip code in here. Let's say I wanted my target payment to be $150 or less per month. Let's see if we can get a 60-month loan. And guys, this is just, maybe we're 5.5, I don't know, 6, whatever you want to say. 6.1, oh, okay. And so we're saying, what can we get for that $150 a month? You're somewhere between $7,500 and $8,000. Let's see, that's because the interest rates may be a little high on that, and that's going to depend on interest rates. Maybe you can get a longer loan on that thing. Okay, now you're up to $10,000, give or take, depending upon interest rate and those things. What I'm saying is, for $150, give or take, you can get yourself a really nice vehicle, and you can take that money. The average American can take that money and invest that money. Now let's show you what you can do with some investments. This goes through this is on bank rate, and it goes through the average monthly new car payment is $667 a month. The average monthly on a used car is $515 per month. $515 per month is what people are paying. We can do some math on that as well and show you what that looks like. So $667 is for new car and $515 is for used. Let's talk more about that. Okay, let's just do a simple interest rate calculator here. Let's just say you're starting out with $500, and let's say you're going to contribute $517 because you found a car, and let's say you're going to invest that over, I mean, we said 40 years. Let's just see what happens over 30 years. And then the estimated rate of return, let's say you're going to be, if you're not getting 5%, you're really you're not doing a great job, but I think you can be closer to 8%. On most of these. And so at 8%, over 33 years, you'd have $1 million. Over 30 years, you would have $781,000 is basically what we're looking here. So, but let's say you invested the whole 667. And we did that. Oh, whoops. Start out with $1 and we're going 667. Okay. Over 30 years at an 8%, you would have $1 million. Now, if we say that goes down to 7% interest rate, you're going to be at 819,000. And let's say it's like 5% interest rate, which I don't think you should ever get below that. You're basically $557,000. And you're going to have to save for a longer period of time, like a 40-year period. So this really breaks down into two things, right? How much are you putting away per month, and how much are you getting on a return, and how long are you going to be getting that money for? How long are you going to be investing that money? Because there's this thing called the compound effect, which you can see right here, okay? This is the principle that you've put in. So in year 40, you have put in $320,000, but you have $702,000 in interest in gains that you have made. So you've only put in $320,000 of that 1 million, and the other $700,000 was earned through the gains through the compound interest. Now, let's look at what this looks like if you're up, let's just say 7%. I mean, I like the rule of 8, but we can use 7, and let's just bring this down to 30 years. Most people are like, well, you're always going to have a car payment. Well, no, you're not always going to have a car payment. Okay, so let's bring that up, and you're basically looking, you've contributed $240,000 and you have $579,000 that has been made, that is earned money as long as you don't touch those funds. The fact of the matter is, I think it's very easy for the average American to make one choice. And that choice is that you would rather have $1 million in your bank account 20, 30, 40 years from now than you would have some fancy car. And if you took that $667 per month and you contributed all of that at a decent interest rate, you're going to find yourself really close to that $1 million. And if you're if you're driving a used car or you still need to do something, you can buy a decent car that's gonna get you around at a pretty minimal payment. And so obviously I encourage you to pay cash for a car like that. If you can't do that, use the $150 a month, buy something that's reasonable, take the rest of that money and invest it, and then take any extra money you can have and pay off your car. Then when you pay off that car, then what you're gonna do is take that $150 and put it towards your investments so you can grow your investments and to make that continue to grow, because it's really this power of compound interest. If you look at these numbers we've been talking about, the amount of money that you've put in versus the money that you've earned, you basically earn 2 times to 3 times the amount of money that you've actually put in. And that is the power of compound interest. And that is the power of compound thinking. So think about what you are driving right now. I know it might be an ego hit or anything else, but you've got to ask yourself, would I rather have that car or would I rather have $1 million? It's pretty obvious most people's choice is I'd rather have the car, but that's short-term thinking, and long-term, you're not going to be happy with that decision, and you're going to look back and say, man, I don't think I really needed that car. So make this one choice. I really appreciate you being with us. Have a wonderful day and make it a very profitable one. Check out this other video if you have some interest on how to earn some extra cash so that you can contribute even more in your earnings.